When you finally accept that no one cares, everything gets quieter, simpler, sharper. That sentence sounds cold, but it's the warmest freedom you'll ever earn. The world isn't ignoring you, it's busy. People aren't against you, they're absorbed in their own storms. The moment you stop negotiating for attention, you start owning your actions. That is the Stoic switch, from needing approval to choosing responsibility. Most people wait for the world to care before they begin. They wait for permission, applause, perfect timing. They measure their effort against other people's interest, then call the result fate. Stoicism shatters that loop. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Translation: attention is a luxury. Control is your job. Accepting that no one cares does not mean becoming bitter. It means becoming free from the emotional leash of expectation. When you accept that most people are focused on their own narratives, you stop auditioning for their approval and start directing your life. You stop saying, "Look at me," and start saying, "Watch me work." That shift turns noise into clarity and pressure into power. Here's the paradox. The moment you need less attention, you become more effective. Not because the world changes, but because you do. You trade outrage for ownership. You exchange fantasies of fairness for the discipline of daily work. Seneca reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Waste happens where attention hunts for validation. Let's get brutally clear. No one cares about your excuses. No one cares about your almosts. No one cares about your intentions. Results are quiet. Discipline is quiet. Growth is quiet. The algorithm doesn't reward your feelings. Life doesn't grade on potential. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." That's the operating system. But here's the liberation hiding inside that sting. If no one cares, you are free to build without waiting. Free to improve in silence. Free to practice when no one is watching. Free to detach your identity from outcomes and tie it to effort. The applause you were chasing turns into the rhythm of your own footsteps. And that sound is enough. Here is how the mindset rewires your day. First, you stop outsourcing your mood. Instead of waiting for supportive messages, you draft your own orders. One line said out loud every morning, "My peace is my responsibility." Second, you stop marketing your pain. You convert it to training. A setback becomes a drill. A refusal becomes fuel. A delay becomes practice for patience. Third, you cut the invisible tax of comparison. You don't need the world to care about your pace. You need to care about your direction. Most timelines are illusions anyway. You are not late, you are not early, you are on your path. Measure today by one question. Did I honor my values through action? If yes, you won. If no, adjust and continue. Accepting that no one cares also forces radical clarity about control. You cannot control attention, algorithms, feedback loops, or gossip. You can control your focus, your craft, your preparation, your response. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control, and it is the hinge on which calm swings. Pour 100% of your effort into what you govern. Release the rest without ceremony. Here's a truth few will tell you. Indifference from others can be your greatest ally. When no one is cheering, you learn to cheer yourself. When no one is watching, you learn to respect the private choices that shape public outcomes. The muscle of self-respect is built in silence. Break that silence with consistent action, not with announcements. Let results introduce you. This mindset is not cruelty, it is clarity. It does not make you hard, it makes you exact. You stop demanding softness from a world that is indifferent and start supplying strength from within. Marcus called it living in agreement with nature. Things happen, opinions fly, fortunes turn. You remain the same person, steady, principled, directed, not immune, but immovable where it matters. So what actually changes when you internalize this? Your mornings, your preparation, your conversations. You stop telling stories about why you can't and start listing steps you will take. You stop announcing plans and start tracking reps. You become allergic to performative struggle and addicted to quiet progress. You stop playing to the crowd and start playing to your standards. Here's a simple mantra to carry. Nobody cares, work anyway. Nobody sees, improve anyway. Nobody claps, continue anyway. Not because you're invisible, but because you are practicing sovereignty. Approval becomes a bonus, not a requirement. Progress becomes inevitable, not accidental. And paradoxically, when you stop trying to be noticed, your consistency begins to glow. People notice the glow, not the noise. If you need a starting point, start here. Choose one arena today where you will act without announcing. One task you will complete without broadcasting. One decision you will make that aligns with your values, not with trends. Then do it. Record the evidence for yourself, not for the feed. At night, ask the only audience that truly matters. Did I live up to my standards? This is where everything changes. The day stops being a referendum on your worth and becomes a workshop for your character. The silence stops feeling like rejection and starts feeling like room to build. The absence of applause becomes the presence of focus. And you, without fanfare, become the kind of person who cannot be moved by gossip, trends, or temporary storms. Remember, the crowd arrives late, the work comes first, the focus comes first, the standards come first. Accept that no one cares, and you will stop pleading and start performing. You will stop waiting and start moving. And movement, repeated daily, becomes mastery and unshakable peace. In time, unstoppable. Acceptance is not apathy. It is alignment with reality. When you accept that no one cares, 5 liberations click into place. You stop begging for attention. You stop performing struggle. You stop comparing timelines. You stop bargaining with fairness, and you start building with discipline. This is not coldness. It is clarity. You are choosing to invest attention where it multiplies. Liberation 1. From expectation to execution. Expectation ties your mood to other people's attention. Execution ties your mood to your own standards. The first keeps you fragile. The second makes you free. Marcus Aurelius practiced this mental pivot every morning. Focus on what virtue asks, not on what spectators think. Quiet work beats public worry. Produce, then evaluate. Decide, then move. Liberation 2. From performance to stewardship. The goal is not to look committed, but to be committed. When you are owned by appearances, your energy leaks into impressions and announcements. When you choose stewardship, your power consolidates around inputs, hours trained, pages written, decisions kept, boundaries honored. You stop narrating effort and start compounding effort. Liberation 3. From comparison to direction. Comparison is attention poverty. Direction is attention wealth. Epictetus would ask a simple filter, is this within your power? Your path, yes. Their praise, no. Your practice, yes. Their timeline, number. When direction is clear, comparison loses oxygen. You stop orbiting other people's outcomes and start walking your own road with steadiness. Liberation. 4. From fairness to fortitude. Life is not fair. It is unpredictable. The Stoic does not bargain with fate. He prepares for it. Premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity, turns surprise into training. Plan for delays, errors, rejections, losses, not to become cynical, but to become ready. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Liberation 5. From noise to signal. Noise is everything designed to capture your reaction. Signal is everything designed to refine your character. Accepting that no one cares shrinks your horizon to signal. You stop refreshing metrics and start deepening mastery. You stop proving, start improving. The day turns from theater into practice. This is the practical frame. The dichotomy of control applied ruthlessly. Control. Your judgments, choices, focus, effort, and response. Influence. Your preparation, your persuasion, your consistency. No control. Other people's opinions, outcomes, timing, luck. Operate with a practical trichotomy. Dominate what you control. Contribute where you influence. Release what you cannot govern. Peace follows precision. Now, let's translate acceptance into movement. Replace 3 hidden bargains with 3 vows. First bargain, I will start when someone believes in me. Vow, I will start, then make belief obvious through evidence. Second bargain, I will share my pain until the world rescues me. Vow, I will turn my pain into practice until I rescue myself. Third bargain, I will wait for fairness. Vow, I will become stronger than circumstance. Carry this identity line. I am responsible for what happens in me, not for what happens around me. That sentence cuts the puppet strings. It does not deny emotions. It disciplines them. You can feel disappointment without performing it. You can feel anger without serving it. You can feel fear without obeying it. Feelings inform, values decide, actions prove. Hierocles taught the circles of concern: self, family, community, humanity. Acceptance helps you care wisely. You take radical responsibility for the inner circle, your character and conduct, so you can serve the outer circles cleanly. Attachment to approval muddies service. Detachment purifies it. When you don't need people to care about you, you can care for them better. Detachment is not withdrawal. It is clean engagement. You show up to work, relationships, and missions without clinging. You give your best effort, then let go of the script you wrote in your head. That is apatheia, freedom from unhelpful disturbance. You don't avoid love or ambition, you avoid desperation. The result is steadiness, and steadiness compounds. Adopt 3 tests for every decision. Test 1, does this align with my virtues? Test 2, is this within my control? Test 3, will I be proud of this when the noise is gone? If all 3 answer yes, proceed. If any answer no, pause. This is how you trade ambiguity for integrity, busyness for progress, clout for character. If no one cares, discipline becomes your compass. Make your day measurable by inputs you govern. Deep work blocks, training sessions, hard conversations had, distractions refused. Replace the scoreboard of attention with the scoreboard of effort. The internet can ignore you. The ledger cannot. The ledger is brutal and fair in a way life rarely is. Memento mori sharpens all of this. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. If time is short, attention becomes sacred. You stop scattering it on outrage and trends. You spend it on craft, on courage, on contribution. The quiet hour alone with your work matters more than 100 glances from a distracted crowd. Here are carry lines to keep you anchored. Nobody cares. I care enough for both of us. Nobody watches. I watch my standards. Nobody claps. I clap for consistency. Nobody understands. I understand my duty. Nobody helps. I help myself, then help others. These are not slogans. They are operating permissions. Use them to move when motivation sleeps. Relationships also transform. You stop auditioning for people who withhold. You stop over-explaining to people committed to misunderstanding. You honor boundaries without bitterness. Clear yes, clean no. You don't chase, you choose. You don't prove, you practice. Respect goes up, drama goes down. And the people who truly care, they surface through action, not promises. Adversity becomes lighter when you drop the weight of expectation. Rejection loses its sting when it no longer threatens your identity. Failure becomes data when your worth is not on trial. The Stoics called external results preferred indifference. Nice to have, not necessary for dignity. Excellence is mandatory, applause is optional. Acceptance ends begging, sovereignty begins. Build quietly, return daily, repeat without applause. You change when your standards become louder than your cravings. Acceptance turns up that volume. When you accept no one cares, you stop negotiating with comfort and start negotiating with reality. Reality is simple. Do the work, guard the mind, live your values. Everything else is weather. Here is a blueprint you can run daily, quietly, relentlessly. 7 daily drills for sovereign focus. Drill 1. Start the day with ownership, not intake. Before screens, write 3 lines. What I control, what I will do, what I will ignore. This takes 2 minutes and saves hours of reactivity. Drill 2. Train discomfort on purpose. Cold water, hard set, awkward call, deep focus without music. Pick one and do it immediately. You are telling your nervous system, I move first. Drill 3. Build a private ledger of proof. Track inputs you control, minutes read, words written, reps completed, distractions refused, acts of courage taken. Your ledger becomes your confidence. Drill 4. Practice clean detachment after delivery. Finish the task, close the loop, then release the outcome without ceremony. Return attention to the next controllable action. Drill 5. Protect your peace with simple boundaries. Silence non-essential notifications, shorten yeses, lengthen pauses, schedule worry time, leave debates that go nowhere, guard the gate. Drill 6. Choose contribution over confession. Instead of narrating struggle for sympathy, convert it into service. Solve, teach, build, help. Let usefulness replace the urge to be seen. Drill 7. End with a victory audit. Ask 3 questions. What did I do well? What did I learn? What will I improve tomorrow? Sleep as version 1.01, ready to become 1.02. Keep 5 Stoic shields for social pressure. Shield 1, noted. Shield 2, I'll think on it. Shield 3, that's outside my control. Shield 4, no, thank you. Shield 5, I choose calm. Short, clean, final. They preserve energy you once spent on arguments that produced nothing. Acceptance also upgrades how you work. You stop chasing visibility and start building capability. Quiet competence compounds, noise decays. In relationships, you stop proving and start practicing attention, honesty, consistency. Trust grows in the soil of repeated actions, not in speeches about intentions. In health, you replace motivation with appointments. Train at 10 means train at 10. No fanfare, just fidelity. The deepest shift is identity. You are no longer a broadcaster trying to be heard. You are a craftsman trying to be true. You are no longer a collector of reactions. You are a keeper of promises. This identity does not shout, it delivers. It holds the line when comfort calls, and it stays kind when chaos roars. 5 reminders to anchor the day. 1. People think about themselves, not you. 2. Attention is fickle, standards are stable. 3. Outcomes are uncertain, effort is optional. Choose it. 4. Feelings are data, not directives. 5. Silence is a strategy, not a void. Carry them like pocket stones. Try this 7-day sovereignty challenge. Day 1. Delete one lure of cheap attention and replace it with 60 minutes of deep work. Day 2. Do one hard thing before 9 a.m. No sharing, no reward. Day 3. Have one honest conversation you've delayed. Day 4. Build a 2-hour block without inputs, phone out, tabs closed, mind on. Day 5. Practice voluntary hardship, fast, cold, or extra sets, then journal what it taught you. Day 6. Serve someone quietly with your craft or time. Day 7. Audit the week, reset the plan, recommit to the work. Notice what happens. Cravings get quieter, clarity gets louder. The world still doesn't care, but you stop needing it to. You become anti-fragile. Pressure organizes you, not scatters you. This is the quiet competence that outlasts trends and outperforms talent. Musonius Rufus taught that habit, not hype, shapes character. Practice is the path. One warning: do not twist acceptance into apathy. You are not withdrawing from people. You are withdrawing from pleading. Care deeply but cleanly. Serve but without scorekeeping. Love but without the leash of constant reassurance. Lead but without the hunger for applause. This is how acceptance makes you more human, not less. So what changes when you finally accept no one cares? You stop waiting. You start walking. You stop explaining. You start exemplifying. You stop proving. You start producing. You stop dramatizing. You start disciplining. And everything, focus, peace, progress, shifts from fragile to firm. Write this somewhere. You'll see it each morning. I do not need attention to honor my standards. I do not need permission to choose my effort. I do not need applause to keep my promises. I move. Lock it in with 3 words you can return to when noise rises. I choose sovereignty. 3 common traps will try to pull you back. Trap 1, performative pain. Talking replaces doing. Sympathy replaces standards. Antidote, say less, do more. Log proof. Trap 2, outcome obsession. You overvalue results you don't control and undervalue routines you do. Antidote, process pride, metric humility, daily return. Trap 3, borrowed urgency. Other people's priorities hijack your plan. Antidote, morning map, midday check, evening audit. Practice these for 30 quiet days, and you will feel the center of gravity move inside you. People may not notice at first. That's fine. You will notice cleaner choices, stronger boundaries, fewer apologies, steadier work. Anxiety turns into attention. Distraction turns into depth. You start trusting yourself again. Eventually, results arrive and some people begin to care. Take the compliment. Keep the cadence. Let attention be a side effect, never the fuel. Here's the credo of quiet builders. First, decide what matters. Second, do it daily. Third, detach from noise. Fourth, refine with honesty. Fifth, repeat until identity changes. That's the whole game. The world will stay busy. Let it. Your job is smaller and harder. Keep your word when no one watches. Guard your mind when no one reminds you. Build your craft when no one asks. Choose virtue when no one applauds. This is how everything changes, not loudly, not suddenly, but surely, because you chose sovereignty every day.